Alrighty, I'm going to wander around the outer skirt.
As we know, the Armenian government declares IT sector as a strategic priority for this country, but the results are not so impressive. So what do you think, what the Armenian government do firstly to foster innovation and development in this country?
It's very hard to say because I don't like to say, oh my gosh, go put some money somewhere, go spend money, go buy something. You don't really buy innovation. I think it starts by inspiring creativity in the schools from when kids are very young, and it's probably the method by which we do education is not really that great for encouraging creativity. There are engineers who can design things and build things and design integrated circuits on chips, and there are inventors who invent the new things that you haven't seen. In the age of the internet, it's very easy for anyone anywhere in the world to come up with ideas that could catch on massively instantly. It's rare, but it's usually from young people because they aren't so set in knowing how to do things already. They aren't set with beliefs of here is how the world works. So I think really encouraging a lot of creativity in schools from the early days on is important, and I have a lot of opinions about that. We teach the same subjects on the same days and the same weeks to the entire class and then test them, and that's the problem. No matter what you do, if you stick with that formula, you're not going to improve things very much. As far as the IT sector and encouraging companies, well, first of all, the area does have some history and some good technical universities, and that's what you need to start with. Even Silicon Valley always attributed a lot of its success to good schools that had creating a lot of great engineers. But don't restrict smart young people, whether they have a college degree or not. It's not that great when companies require all sorts of degrees and certification. You have to be able to spot the young people who will think for themselves and come up with good new ideas, the real innovators. And you don't want to, it's also good if you have a lot of young people in universities. If the universities have a lot of parts from maybe some local companies that contributed them, and a lot of tools so that they could sit down in the freedom to build things for themselves. Even within a company, the employees, if a company organizes itself so that the employees can build things for themselves, use the company's facilities for their own personal life that has nothing to do with sales, that won't make the company any money, every once in a while those employees are going to hit on something so exciting and new and great. And it'll be close to the company, so the company will benefit financially from those discoveries.
Mr. Wozniak, what do you think? What makes a country competitive in this digital era?
I don't like to think country versus country is being competitive. In some areas, such as manufacturing, as a matter of fact, a lot of the work that's done here, it's the actual salaries, economics are very favorable to Armenia rather than doing certain parts of the work, say, in the United States, where things are so much more expensive. That's one of the keys. As far as attracting IT investment, there are a lot of countries in the Middle East that are wealthy. It may not work as well in Armenia. The wealthy countries say, we will invite American universities, top universities from around the world. We'll invite top companies from around the world and give them pretty much some tax-free status for a while. Countries like Qatar, are known for doing that sort of thing, looking towards the future.
We know that you have
But I will say one thing. It starts out with you need to have the right sort of people, a culture where people think a certain way. And I would say that in a country that has top chess players, that chess is the sort of thinking that is so involved in a lot of the working out the logistics of hardware engineering and software engineering. Being able to hold a lot of patterns and independent ways and results in your head, but you have to encourage people to want to do the best in the world and be the best in the world.
As we know, you have some kind of investment funds. So are you interested to invest in Armenia?
I don't represent Apple, and I don't have any investment funds of my own. So I can't answer that.
Okay, what do you think after Steve Jobs, what will be with Apple?
The culture and the symbols that Apple set will probably persist within the company to a much greater extent than they will influence other companies in the world. So in the short term, Apple's got a lot of great direction products. One of the things we have is a large using audience sometimes defines a company culture. The people who buy your products define what you can and can't sell. That traps companies sometimes, because if they're used to selling things a certain way and people all of a sudden want a new way, they can't reach their own customers because their own customers want the old way. Well, the Apple customers want things to be beautiful, sparkling, to convey an image to the eye that tells you what's in the product, to be very simple and easy to use. And the Apple customers will react negatively if Apple starts failing from the types of products that have come out under Steve Jobs. So I think that's one of the things that will hold a company culture for a long time. There are companies that have built excellent products over time, such as Leica cameras, that for 100 years still produce with that excellence. It's almost mandatory.
Last question, sir. There are some kind of rumors that you have Apple stocks. If it's not secret, would you like to inform on your ownership regarding Apple stocks?
No, I don't talk about that.
Okay, thank you very much.
Although I will say, I only have Apple stock and stock in my other company that I work for, Fusion.io, out of Salt Lake City. We're basically replacing hard disks with chips and the software to make them work well.
Okay, thank you very much for interview, sir.
Hey, thanks.